FSB. FSB.
Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this FSB webinar in conjunction with Constant Contact. Get new and repeat business with email automation. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Dave Sherrist, all the way from America, and Dave is the Director of Small Business Success at Constant Contact. As we know, businesses survive and thrive on bringing in sales from new and existing customers. And in this session, Dave will help us to understand how email automation can help businesses like you do more of this, whilst also saving you time by communicating relevant and timely information to your subscribers based on their interests and actions. After this session, you will be able to execute email automation campaigns to welcome new subscribers and start building relationships. You'll be able to create automated email series that map to your goals and to use data to optimize and automate more timely and relevant emails. Today's session will be recorded and shortly available on our on-demand page on the FSB website in case you want to watch it again. And if you're not an FSB member, we would love to have the opportunity to speak to you further about the benefits of joining. So please do visit our website, fsb.org.uk, to book a meeting with a membership advisor. So now all that's left for me to do is to hand over to Dave.
Thanks so much, Emma. Appreciate it. Let me get my slides up here for you. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today for Get New and Repeat Business with Email Automation. Take two. Hopefully we'll have no issues today. Appreciate you coming back and joining us here today. Let's see, I just want to get there we go. Okay, so we're going to start like this. I hear the secret to online marketing is showing pictures of your cats. So here you go. Yes, this is an actual gift the kids and I got for my wife for Christmas. It's a portrait of our cats in human bodies. That's Peppa, Magic, and Milo. Now, Peppa, she is the brains of the operation, and she's the only cat that knows how to open the door to the side of the house where we sleep. Now, on mornings where we forget to lock her out, she's in there much earlier than we'd like and demanding that we get up and feed her. That is, of course, until we got the automatic feeder. Now we get to sleep in, and we also don't have to worry about the cats when we're out and about. They're going to get the food that they need when they need it. And we get to do other things without having to cater to them at inconvenient moments. And well, this is really the real reason I have a picture of my cats up here, right? Because just like the cat situation, automation allows you to do the other things you need to do without neglecting your prospects and your customers. With automation, new and existing customers get what they need when they need it. Now, maybe you're thinking, well, isn't automation impersonal? Well, I would argue that it's actually more personal because automation allows you to be more timely and relevant. Again, just like our cats, people get what they need when they need it. And as with any marketing messages you send, they should feel specific to the person receiving them. And that's why the act of personalization is also very important. Consider this: 56% of consumers unsubscribe from emails because the content is no longer relevant to them. So when you're planning your email automations, remember that time and relevance matter. Also, think about your automations as one-to-one messages. The person receiving them should feel like they're talking directly, that you're talking directly to them and not a group of people. Keep in mind also that automation doesn't have to be overly complicated either. There are simple things you can implement to have a significant impact on your overall results. So today, I want to give you some practical email marketing ideas to solve for each of these concerns around email automation. So here's what we'll cover today. We're going to talk about how to use email automation to welcome new subscribers. We're going to talk about the types of automated email series that you can use to map out to your business or organization goals. And then we're also going to talk about how you can use data to optimize and automate more timely and relevant emails. As mentioned, my name is Dave Sherrist, and I'm the Director of Small Business Success and the host of the Be a Marketer podcast at Constant Contact. If you're on LinkedIn, I'd love to connect with you there. And if you'd like to get a copy of these slides, send me a DM and I'll be happy to send those to you as well. For those of you who may not be familiar with Constant Contact, we have been helping small businesses and not-for-profits reach their marketing goals for almost 30 years with our easy-to-use digital marketing platform. You can find out more about our tools by scanning the QR code on your screen. Now, I've been with Constant Contact for over 13 years now, and people often ask me, what keeps you at the company for so long? Well, for me, it really boils down to three things. I'm passionate about helping small businesses and not-for-profits succeed. The people that I work with on a day-to-day basis share that same passion, and we're all really focused on delivering tools and insights to help you make progress wherever you are starting from. I'm grateful again for the opportunity to be here with you today, and thank you for choosing to spend some time with me. Now, as mentioned, I have some great tips to share with you today, and we'll have time for questions at the end of the presentation. So why is this marketing content important? Well, Constant Contact's latest research shows that the top marketing challenges for UK SMEs are finding customers, determining what's working with their marketing, and retaining customers. Now, it's likely you may find yourself in a similar scenario. So I want to give you some foundational things regarding email automation so you can feel more confident and do things that'll have an impact for you. Now, as I talk through things here today, write down things that may be, good things that you want to try or questions that you may have that I can answer for you at the end. Okay, let's get to it. Here are some basic ways to use email automation to welcome new subscribers. Now, Constant Contact, we had a motivational speaker come in for one of our yearly kickoff meetings. And the speaker was amazing and had lots of tips for high-performing teams and working together. And during his presentation, he provided several great resources that we could all download. And on his site, he asked for our email addresses. The speaker had a great strategy for growing his email list here. But after many of us entered our information into the form, we didn't find anything in our inboxes. We waited and we waited, and we were engaged with this presentation and willingly gave our email addresses, but we didn't get the resources we were hoping for at that moment. We were left wondering, did that actually go through? We were checking with our teammates to see if they got the resources, right? The thing here is we were ready to get that information. We were excited about it. And it wasn't until maybe a week or two later that we actually got the resources. Now, to me, this is a bit of a miss because there's a significant amount of excitement and eagerness when someone is opting into your email list. They're really highly engaged at that moment. And so it's a good time to get those relationships started. And the same goes for your email subscribers. When they give you their email address, however that may be, they are most engaged and they are very receptive to receiving information from you. So this means you should engage when they're engaged. And this is why I suggest sending an email welcome series of at least 2 emails. So what does that look like? Well, email 1 is what we call the delivery or welcome email. You want to send this immediately after someone signs up. And it's really about delivering the thing that you entice them to sign up with, because they're expecting to get it right away. And maybe that's a discount or an exclusive piece of content, maybe a guide or a checklist, something like that. It also gives you the opportunity to welcome them to your business or your organization and let them know about you a bit, right? What do they need to know? Then the second email, and you can send this maybe a few days later, this is the invitation to connect. This is the opportunity to let people know all the places that they can connect with you. So this gives you more opportunities to be connected to your potential customers so you can stay more top of mind and reach more people. As I mentioned, you can send that a few days later. Now, a welcome email or a welcome series is really, to me, a no-brainer, right? If you don't have one of these in place, you want to write this down as action item number 1. I'm going to mention 2 other types of automated emails you should also consider adding to your arsenal because they're really simple to set up. Now, a simple way, of course, to make someone feel special is to offer them something on their birthday. And so you can automate this message to go out a couple days before or on their actual birthday, and you can send them a little something special, right? Maybe it's a discount or a gift, or you can just send them a birthday message, right? People love to engage with this type of content, and it's a great way to create a positive moment for your brand. And of course, it can also stimulate sales. Now, don't overlook the impact of that these emails can have, because once you get these set up, they're going to work for you again and again, and you'll just need to ask context to add their birthday to their profiles. And that's information that you can collect when people are signing up, or you can do that over time. What else? Well, another date-based email is an anniversary email. Now, these are great because you can celebrate an annual milestone or even use it as a reminder for people. So that could mean thanking them for an action they've taken. Maybe it's letting them know it's time to repurchase an item, or maybe it's just celebrating the connection that they have with your business. Again, another simple way to get started with automation. Now, let's see how we can add a bit more to our automation plan with automated email series to help you reach specific goals. So as I mentioned earlier, personalization and relevancy are really important, even when it comes to automation. Now, the reason you can be so timely and relevant because there's typically a trigger that starts the automation. And so we've already mentioned things already, like someone joining a list or a specific date, but you can also look at things like someone registering for an event, or even opening an email or clicking a specific link, or maybe they've purchased a particular product or a service. Now, the key thing to do here is to figure out your goal for a particular series of emails, understand who the audience is that'll be receiving the series, and then what is the information that they're going to get that's going to be timely and relevant for them. So let's look at some examples based on a particular goal. First up, lead nurture. So with lead nurture, the goal is to turn a prospect, someone that has indicated interest in your business, into a client or a customer. So what could a series like this look like? Well, let's look at 4 emails, each with a specific purpose. Now, I'll mention that, again, these are just ideas to get you started. The actual content, the frequency, and the timing is really going to differ based on the nature of your business and many times the complexity of the sale. So just keep that in mind as we go through this information. Now, this email series is great to follow up after that welcome series, right? They already know a little bit about you, but now you get to go into greater detail about the work you do and the types of people you do it for. Essentially, what you're trying to do is answer the question, why does your business exist? I also like to end each of these emails with an invitation to reach out directly if they have questions to you. Again, allow them to know that you're available to them and they can reach out with those questions. Now, the second email is an email, maybe that's a few days later or a week later, depending on how you feel comfortable getting that information out. You can send an email that focuses on a problem your product or service solves for your customers. So you can really get specific into that information and take a deep dive into something that really shows how your services or your product can benefit them. Then in another email, you can really share a story with a specific example, right? How have you helped another customer solve this problem? This allows you to get a little bit deeper into storytelling and allow them to see themselves in another one of your customers. And then now that you've done this good job of really setting up the problem and how you solve it, you can really think about asking for the sale directly, right? You can actually make that offer in that 4th email. And so again, you're setting up by providing value, giving them the information that they need to know and showing how you can help them. And then at the end, wrapping that up with an actual offer. So what happens after you make the sale? Well, that's another good opportunity for an email series. So this is one of my favorite types of email series for onboarding. And it's one that many people forget because often, well, they don't think beyond the sale. But if you think about it, what's the best way to create a loyal customer, right? When it comes, someone that comes to you again and again and refers others to you. Well, it's really about making sure that they make the best use of their purchases, right? And that's where an onboarding series comes in. Your goal is to turn customers into fans of your product or service. So let's look at some example emails for a series like this. So in your first email after purchase, you'll likely want to thank the customer, one, and identify the key things that they need to do to make use of their product, right? What do they need to do to get started? So again, thank you so much for this purchase. Here's how you get started with the thing. And then in another email or a series of emails, you can show them what they need to do next to build on what they already know by sharing more educational information. Now, it's good to focus on one aspect at a time so people aren't overwhelmed by too much information all at once. But then once you've shown them what they need to know, it's also a great time for follow-up. So this is where you can actually ask for feedback. So this can be a review, or maybe it's just even to reply to an email and let them tell you what they like and what they don't. Now, pay attention to the words your customers use here, because this is feedback that can help you understand how to not only improve your product or service, but also how to better market it to others who may be using the same language. Sometimes you may want someone to take a specific action, and you guessed it, an email series can also help here as well. So what does that mean if you want a specific action to be taken? Well, let's take a look at that. So let me give you an example here. Let's say a bike shop offers a cycling club to their customers. Now, why would they do this? Well, because that they found that when people join the club, they end up actually spending more money. So it makes sense for them to encourage more people to join. And so the goal is to drive that action of signing up, because at the end of the day, they'll end up having more valuable customers. So a series that is designed to drive an action could look something like this. Ultimately, we want them to take the next step, right? And so the first email can focus on reasons why to take the action. So for this example, there's a focus on being able to try out gear and get discounts, right? Staying fit and the fact that it's free. And so it really focuses on the benefits of using the club or becoming a member. Now in the next email, it's really about focusing on one specific aspect that makes the club unique. And so here, the example highlights the expertise of one of the instructors and how they'll push you to become a better rider. In another email, the focus is on what they're missing out, or FOMO, by not taking the action. Now, for the cycling club, they start to show riders having a great time with each other and the beautiful places that they go as a group. You can even create an email series to get people excited about an event after they've registered. So let's take a look at what that means. Now, our goal here in building anticipation is really about getting people looking forward to participating in the event. And so the first email really just needs to lay out the important details that they need to know about the event. Now, you don't need to put everything in the email here. This is just relevant information that they need to know right now. Then you can use additional emails to share more information. Maybe there are things that they need to do to prepare for an event. And so in another email, you can let them know what they need to do to prepare. And so in this example, Hearts and Tails Animal Rescue offers training tips for their upcoming 5K race. And then in a final email, you can share the most important details about the event and what they need to know so it's easily accessible as they plan to attend. So those are some specific examples of email series to consider. Some other things you can also think about in terms of automation is really thinking about having a series to follow up even after an event, right? Let people know, thank them for coming, share with them some photos, those types of things that they can engage with on social. Again, creating that vibe of here's something that somebody might have missed out on, so they'll want to come when you have another event. Maybe you're looking to educate your audience, and so they can sign up for an educational course that gets delivered over a series of emails. And you can even repurpose some of your best content into a series of emails that send to your subscribers over time. Now, lastly, let's look at this other way that you can really think about using automation. So you can ultimately use the data that you have to optimize and automate more timely and relevant emails. So the more data that you have, the better you can target and provide relevant content, which means you're also going to end up improving your results, because it's ultimately about people receiving the things that are of interest to them at the right times. And so this means taking the whole idea of personalization and relevancy even further. So what does that mean? Well, most of what we talked about here so far in terms of automation really revolves around someone joining a specific list. But you can also use other factors that automatically refresh lists, for example, as you get more data about your contact. Then you can start to message those people accordingly. So let's take a look at what that means. Now, you can do this based on things like activity. You can create lists based on someone's engagement with your emails. You can also use that data to automatically create and segment a segment of contacts that update dynamically, as we mentioned, for example. So to those least engaged email people, right? Maybe there are people least engaged. Maybe you decide you're only going to contact them once a month to keep your business top of mind, but not cause them to unsubscribe because you're emailing them too much because they're not really as engaged with what's happening. But if they do start to engage, then those folks could get moved out of that unengaged bucket. And then you can start emailing them more frequently because it's likely that they are now in the right mindset to learn more information. So you can create all sorts of dynamic segments based on certain criteria. And you can even use data from an e-commerce platform such as Shopify, for example. Now, another example could really mean using dynamic content within your email based on something that you know about your contact. So let's think of a pet supply store, for example, right? Sending one email, but the images and the product recommendations within that email update for cat owners versus dog owners, right? So you can probably already see how something like this would be more effective for your email efforts. Now, the reality is, everyone is different. And the more you can focus on what is of interest to the person receiving it, the better your results. And so this could be based on their actions. Maybe it's their purchases or donations, it's their interests, or even the stage of the funnel that they are in with your business. That way, thanks to AI, you can change what's in these emails, right? And then I should say, thanks to AI, you can also automate the creation of whole campaigns beyond just email to even include things like social posts and even event promotion. So Constant Contact recently released a feature called Campaign Builder that builds a marketing strategy for you in a campaign across multiple channels in minutes. So you can actually spend less time figuring out your marketing and get back to those other things that you could rather be doing. And when you start taking these steps to automate, use AI to your advantage, and create whole multi-channel campaigns, ultimately, this really allows you to start to see increases in conversions, transactions, and revenue. And this is stuff that's all really good for business. So let's recap what we've talked about here, and we'll have plenty of time for questions to get deeper into things. Ultimately, remember that you want to start with a welcome series to communicate with people when they're most engaged. And you can use some basic automated emails to continue to communicate and build loyalty with birthday and anniversary emails. Now, beyond that, you can start to create another automated email series that maps to your goals. They're relevant based on the actions that people take. You might consider a series to nurture prospects, maybe onboard members or new clients, and even encourage them to take further actions. And of course, last but not least, remember that across everything that we talked about here today, personalization and relevancy is important, even with automated emails. And so every subscriber should feel, is different and moves through the journey with your business at their own pace and at different times. And this is where the data should be used to really help you continue to segment your list and understand subscriber actions to send them the right information at the right time. And the great thing, of course, about automation is that then you can, spend more time doing other things, like taking a nap, stretching out on the couch, or sitting in places you definitely shouldn't be. But it's likely you'll want to spend that time doing other things for your business while your customers are getting what they need when they need it. Well, I hope you found this information helpful today and have some new ideas that you can start to implement for your business. And of course, if you'd like to take action, I invite you to claim a 30-day free trial of Constant Contact by scanning the QR code on your screen. With that, let's open this up to questions so we can see how else we can get deeper into here.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dave. Can
Sure.
you hear me all right back there? Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So that absolutely fantastic. I particularly personally found the idea that automation can be personal a little bit of a flip for me. So I don't think I've ever thought of automation as being something personal. So I think that's something that I will definitely take away. And the idea to engage when somebody's most engaged as well, I think is a takeaway from me. So we've had some questions in. The first two are kind of around the like the machinery of email. So I'll ask those two together if that's all right. So the first one is, how can I add a brochure, a PDF brochure to an email, and how can I change the margin of an automated email? Those things.
Excellent. So yeah, so on the first Constant Contact, we have a variety of templates that you can use. And one of the things that we do have is a library where you can upload images, files, PDFs included. And we actually have a template that allows you to just add a template or PDF directly from your Constant Contact account. And it creates an image for that PDF that is the cover of the PDF that you've uploaded. And you can easily create an email. You can add your own text around it, but it's a great way to send that off, and then people can download that directly from your Constant Contact account. In terms of the margins, we have professionally designed templates that you can either start from, and an easy to use editor that you can actually go in and build your own emails, build them on your own if you want to. It's really as simple as dragging and dropping. And then once you get in there, you can change things like dividers, you can change the colors, you can make it your brand, you can adjust the margins as well. And these are all kind of slider-based things, right? So it's what you see is what you get, kind of a WYSIWYG editor type of thing. So yeah, you can get in there and move things around, put images where you want them, create columns. You can do all sorts of things. I would encourage anybody to really get in there and play around and start to build an email and see what you can do.
Brilliant, brilliant. You said about making emails as relevant as possible, and we've had the question, and maybe if you could just give some like key pointers. So how can businesses ensure their automated emails are as relevant as possible to their audience?
Yeah, so the reason we say that these are so personal and timely and relevant is because they're, as I mentioned, they're often based on a trigger. And so it's about somebody taking the initiative to take an action. And typically we take an action because we're interested in something or we want to learn more. And you can even be specific and say like, hey, if you would like to learn about this thing, click here, right? An example I'll give you is I have a friend out here who's a Constant Contact customer in the States, and he owns a cheese shop. And inside every one of his emails, he includes a little button at the bottom that says like need catering, right? And so because they offer that at the shop as well. And so whenever anybody clicks on that link, he uses the click segmentation. So that person gets automatically added to a list, which he calls catering interest, right? And then he sets up an automation on the back end of that, which then starts to send information to those people about catering, right? So, oh, I'm interested in catering because maybe they got something going on at the office or something like that. Now they're going to get that information, and he just had to set that up. And it's not like he has to be waiting for people to reach out and ask questions, right? And so that's one example. And then, you have that list of people. So when he's doing something new or has something, maybe that's not part of the series to reach out, or he's offering something there, he has a list of people that he knows are interested in catering. And so that's really what it means. It means breaking this overall list that you've created down into a smaller group of people that have interest in a particular thing, and then you can get that right information to them. I think another thing I'll add to that is, depending on the nature of your business and what your product or service is, it's really thinking about, well, what are those questions that you typically get from people? You can start to create emails that answer each of those questions. And then ultimately what you're doing is selling your product or service, answering the objections that they might have, all through automation without having to have that conversation. So when they do reach out to you, they're already sold themselves, right? It's just really more of a confirmation at that point. And that's why I think it's exciting to think about this in a way to be more personal, because I'm with you. And I've heard before where people really think about it as like an impersonal thing because you're just automating something to go off. That doesn't mean you're not supposed to write it in your voice, right? It's not like a robot is sending it. You're still crafting the message. You're still writing the content. You're still doing those things. And you're also just anticipating what people have. So it's really showing how well you do know your audience in many ways. And so again, because of the timeliness there, it feels really relevant to the people receiving it at those particular times.
Yeah, that links to another question we've had actually that I'll bring in now. That's about calls to action. So, and you mentioned there having the link to the catering at the bottom. How many kind of calls to action would you suggest in an individual email, or would you, if you had 3 things that you wanted customers to do, would you do 3 separate emails? I don't know if that.
Yeah, so we've seen the most success come from individual emails that are about one thing. So there's one action that you want people to take. You can give people multiple opportunities within that email to take the action. And that could be a combination of like highlighting text and a button, right?
Yeah.
And thinking about, okay, as you're explaining something, and this also depends on the complexity of the sale, right? So some things people need more information in order to be able to take that next action. And so your goal really is to give people whatever information that they're going to need in order to take that next step, right? And so you can kind of strip out everything else. And so your goal is to get them like, boom, boom, yep, I got enough information. Yes, I want to, whatever the action is, I want to do that. What we have seen also, sometimes it's okay to have like a secondary call to action or something like that. Sometimes you may just be doing a newsletter. We recommend if you are doing that, you are using links, right? Because you start to learn and gather data about what things people are interested in by clicking those links. But in those situations, we recommend that you keep it to 3 topics or less.
Yeah.
Constant Contact has what's called heat maps that you can look at to see where people are kind of engaging with your email. And we've seen dramatic drop off after the 3rd link. And so kind of gone are those days where people are going to spend a lot of time with your email. They're really scanning and looking for the information that they're going to want to use, unless you're a creative writer and can draw people in and really craft something that they're on the edge of their seats about. They're really just scanning that quickly and looking for the things that are of interest to them. And so you would benefit from sending emails with one topic, one action you want something to take, what someone to take. There can be multiple links in that are about the same action. And then if you are sending a newsletter type thing with multiple things in it, keep it to 3. You're going to benefit from people taking more action within that individual email, but you're also going to benefit from being able to send a little bit more so that you can include more information in there. And so it's, again, the end of the day, this is all about keeping your business top of mind and making them aware of the things. And so the more opportunities that you have to communicate with people with things that they're interested in, the better off you're going to be.
That leads on to another question about newsletters, actually. I've just recently started my business and I don't know if I've got enough content for a series of emails. Is a monthly newsletter a good way to start automation?
Yeah, I think the good thing is to just start creating, right? So you don't have to create the automation right away, but what you can do is you've just started with your list. I mentioned using some of your best content, right? And so as you create an email and you find, hey, people got a really great response to that, maybe it's just taking some of your best, because if you think about it like this, if somebody joins your list today and then somebody's been on it for 3 months already, or somebody joins 3 months from now, they're going to miss a whole bunch of content that you're sending as a regular newsletter, right? So what you can do is you can actually, as new people join, you have some of your best content, you can set that up as an automation, so that every once in a while, in addition to what you're doing on a regular basis, they're also getting those other top emails that people have found valuable, right? And then I think it's through doing that process, you start to understand. Always encourage people to reply to you and give you information so you can learn more about them and be able to understand that audience more so you can provide more value to them. And all of those engagements and the things that you're doing will allow you to start to figure out what you do need to create in terms of automation. So I think it's just about getting started.
Well, got 3 more questions in, and I'd encourage others if they've got a burning question to put it in, because we've got the time. So the first one I think relates to, I think you said initially the welcome series should have at least 2. And it says, how many emails should a business send in an automation series without annoying customers? So I'm guessing they're kind of asking what the maximum in the series is.
Yeah, so I think there's no right answer for this. It's really based on the complexity of the sale and the information that people need to know. And I think maybe a good shift here is thinking that you're not going to annoy customers, right? Let's start there. Let's start with the idea that the information that you're going to send is valuable to them, okay? They raised their hand and they signed up for your list because they want to receive information from you.
Yeah.
And so don't think of it as a bother. Think about it as, okay, What is the value someone's going to get from this email? Is it going to help them? Is it going to answer a question that they have? It's just really thinking about where they are in that particular journey with you. And so if they are new to you and they don't really know a lot about your business, well, you've got an opportunity to start to share a little bit, right? As I mentioned, kind of onboarding somebody onto just who you are as a business. If they've purchased something, right? Well, anytime I get some new little gadget or device, like I want to know, how do I use this thing? And so if I get some emails that are like, hey, here's how you do this thing, here's how you do that, right? It's going to help me get the best from it. And so you're not annoying. Create resources that are going to be helpful to people. And the number of emails, there's no set number, because it really depends on what it is and the complication or the complicity of, I don't know, what word am I trying to say? How complicated.
Yeah.
I'm making things up. It's early for me over here still. It's about, what are the things that people need to know? And then what gets them to get the best use of the things that you're sending. And so it's really different for every business and the complexity of the product.
Yeah, brilliant. So the next two, so one's specific to Constant Contact, but I think it links with this next question. So I'll ask them together if that's okay. So
Sure.
We're ready to move forward. How easy is it to set up email automation? We're not tech savvy at all. And the other one says, can we use Dave's company to automate emails rather than using expensive alternatives such as MailChimp? So I don't know MailChimp's subscription charges. That's just the wording from the question. And I guess you might want to bring in your 30-day free trial to remind everybody that they've got that with you from this webinar today.
Yeah, here's what I'll recommend is people go in there and try it out for sure. I think one of the two of the biggest things that I think make us different from most of the email marketing services out there is that we're designed specifically for small business owners. And so, we were having a conversation about a group before we got on here live today, where many times you get a new tool and you need a whole team to figure out how to use the tool before you can actually use it. Constant Contact is designed for non-techie people who are business owners first, marketers by necessity. So we want to make the marketing pieces, we want to take as much of that off your plate as possible so that you can easily do the things that you need to do to get the word out and keep your business top of mind. So that's one thing. The other thing that I'll mention is that you can pick up the phone at any time and call someone. I say anytime. We have customer service hours, so bear with me there. But what I mean is you can actually pick up the phone and get a person on the other end. And if you're struggling with something or have a question about something, they will we have an award-winning support team. They will gladly walk you through it. And this is one of the things that we've recognized working with so many small businesses is that sometimes you don't want to go hunting for the answer. You just want to talk to somebody to help you get the thing done because you've got 20 other things to do. We want to be able to help you do that.
Brilliant. And then the last question that we've got in is a little bit of a flip from sales. So how can email automation help retain customers in the long term?
Yeah, this is a great one. So some of the things that I mentioned were, think about after the sale, right? So we've talked about onboarding a lot, but we also talked about like an events, right? And oftentimes we don't think beyond that. Ultimately, it's about building relationships. It's about staying in touch. And again, just marketing is really keeping yourself top of mind, talking to the right people and keeping yourself top of mind there so that when they're ready for what you offer, they're going to think of you first. Or if somebody says to them, hey, you know somebody that does such and such? Oh, I do, right? You're the first business that comes to mind. And so automation, birthday, anniversary emails, really simple, right? Send them a birthday. And it doesn't have to be about causing the sale. It could just be about saying happy birthday, right? It's just about saying hello. People love to have these relationships with small businesses. These are the things that make small businesses unique. Lean into those things, build those relationships, and stay top of mind with them. You can think about, hey, maybe I think oftentimes it's about thinking about, there are two types of emails you're going to end up sending, right? You're going to be sending promotional things that are in relation to a sale, right? A sale or a discount or promotion, something like that has like a time sensitivity to it. But then you should also be sending what we would call non-promotional emails, right? So these are emails that are value add, something that's maybe just entertaining, something that provides some information, something that is of benefit to the person receiving it, that's not asking for a sale. You want to do both of those things because not everybody's ready to buy something all of the time, but it allows you to start to, again, keep those relationships warm for when they are ready. And so it's about thinking through that What are the things that are helpful? Are there trends? Are there things that they might not be aware of that they should be thinking about, right? It's about sharing your expertise, and automation can help you really get into specific things. I love the idea. We mentioned click segmentation. I love letting people within your list self-segment themselves in the sense of, like, let's say you have a new product or service coming up that solves a particular problem. You could send out an email to your whole list that says, hey, I'm going to be talking about this particular problem and how we've, worked out ways to solve it. If you'd like to get emails about that, click here, right? Or sign up, we can send up a landing page where they can enter their information. And now you've got a list of people from your overall list who are interested. This is where you start to get, a little bit more into it. Then you can see, well, all right, who registered? Who are those people? What are those things? Then you can you have this list of people that are interested. Then you can start to create messages that actually speak to those types of businesses, right? And show how your thing or the problem would relate, or something that they may run into. And so again, you get more personal, you get more, you're getting timely people on that list. And so it's just really thinking through that. Like, what does that process look to you? What does a real conversation look like? And you're really just trying to replicate that in a way that's digital in many ways.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. So I guess the last question from me is, everybody's joined today because this subject has interested them. So if you could give them one piece of advice to go away and take action today, what would that be from today?
I think the big piece of advice is understand that it doesn't have to be complicated. Okay. Automation can kind of sound scary because it sounds like there's a lot of things going on, and there are in the background, right? But for you, it's just really simple as saying, okay, what is the goal? And what information does the person that I need have to do? And there are simple ways you can start it. We mentioned some of those. The welcome email, no brainer. Somebody joins your list, thank them for signing up, start that relationship off, right? Birthday, anniversary, really easy to get started up. You can even set up, if you're using a thing like Shopify, for example, you can set up a cart reminder, right? To let them know, like, hey, you left some things in there that you might want. These are all simple things that you can do that don't take a lot of mental energy, right? Because I think the other thing is Constant Contact does have templates within. We call it Automated Path Builder. So it has the kind of structure of the things that you may want to create for different goals that you may have. And then it's about going in and just creating the content for each of those emails. Constant Contact has, AI involved in there as well that can help you create that content if you need it. But it's really about doing the simple things first, because those things will work for you. And then hopefully you get excited about that and want to do other things. But don't feel like it has to be overly complicated. Just think about what you would do face-to-face and look for a way to replicate that in an automated fashion.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Thank you. You mentioned AI, and the next webinar that we've got with you is on the 27th of November on AI. So I would encourage everybody to bookmark that, go to our website, fsb.org.uk, and make sure you book onto that, because I think that's a great next step. You've got like a month now to go away and start the basics, schedule in to look at how you can incorporate AI as well. So that's brilliant. We haven't got any more questions, so it's just really over to me to say thank you everybody for tuning in today and joining us. Thank you to those who submitted questions. I think these webinars are made on the questions that come from our small businesses who are joining. If you want to watch the video again, there was a lot of information there, then it will be on our on-demand pages on fsb.org.uk. A reminder that all events are on there as well, so please take some time to look at that. If you've enjoyed it today and found it useful, please do leave us a Trustpilot review. We really appreciate it. And your reviews also help other businesses to decide to access the support from these webinars too. So it's really helpful if you can do that. And just finally, Dave, an enormous thank you to you and Constant Contact for your insight and expertise and support. A massive thank you for the offer to viewers for the 30-day free trial as well. And that's wonderful. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.